Hello, Dwarven Army! Welcome to a brand new stream, Hamster's Hobby Hang, where
Woo!
I get to do whatever's in my pile of shame, so I'm excited for that. We're just chilling and hanging out and hobbying.
And you have Chris also
Yeah, Chris is
painting
up here painting his hellscape stuff that just arrived.
kind of
Yeah,
a
well, I mean,
box
it
of
arrived
shit.
a month and a half ago, and then
Oh,
we ended up. I ended up doing this Kickstarter that took up a fair amount of my time, so I didn't really open it until like 2 nights ago.
oh, right. You were kind of busy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's lovely.
Awesome.
Where's the thing? Pop out the chat. Oh,
And I have nothing that I'm doing, but as Hamster said right before the stream, I have my personality. So
Yeah.
enjoy.
Well, we were talking about somebody mentioned edible terrain, and you had already done that for the Kickstarter celebration.
Yeah, I made a dwarven fudge for the cupcakes at the launch party.
They were delicious.
They turned out fine. They could have been better, but it's really hard to make chocolate in a microwave without it being kind of gross.
Right. I was
and
impressed.
stuff.
There was the ruins piece where the fine like detailing on it was perfectly visible. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it was a labor of love, you know?
Awesome. Well, I got some Star Wars Legion guys from the Luke and Vader starter set that have been sitting on my shelf. I did one test model.
just in anticipation for the sci-fi stuff we're gonna do now.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I actually have been building some MDF kits that are kind of like sci-fi gothic ruins that I'm gonna bring home for an epic game with my buddy before his deployment, but I also want to bring them in as kind of a reference for what's out there, you know. Just bring them in and see what they look like and possibly use them for some influence or something. But
Oh, right on.
already just looking at that depresses me because like I'm so far from just the
Well,
they already posted the Discord specifically of the wargaming stuff where they have like weathered metal and you have like folds in the fabric and everything there. Like oh man.
but see, here's the thing. The scheme is designed to be super low precision and pretty efficient and fast. And it's just a matter of placing the steps and adding the steps in a way that hides all your mistakes so that your focus is on the cool parts. Because if I were to look at this too up close, I would find a bunch of little blemishes, but there's enough on there by design. That's so much of like, especially batch painting armies like this group of 14 guys. It's just like placing the steps to hide your crimes.
That's fair.
Another
Oh my
thing,
god.
well, sorry, I hate when I hear people say stuff like comparing themselves to people like Hamster is a trained artist. He's been doing this for a long time. Chris, you're actually very good for having just like you haven't even just started. You're very good.
You're good
You've
for
got
a
the
child.
craft started. No, but yesterday, so Nate started. He used to paint his own minis for like maybe 4 or 5 years in his like teen, early adulthood, and he was gonna do. I was trying to convince him to do a hobby hang too with this Steamforged dragon we got, and he was just kind of like, "Oh, I don't want to do it with Hamster. That's just gonna. You gotta stop it. People need to knock it off."
I'm afraid. I'm like really afraid to paint anything new without Hamster nearby. Honestly, like I have like some translucent stuff I got from Reaper that like I gotta paint these at some point. But
Oh,
like
those are cool.
yeah, like it's some cool stuff. I've never painted translucent before, so I'm terrified of like the entire concept. So I feel like I'm not gonna do it until I've got like Hamster there to like hold my hand.
Well, here's the secret. I'm also always scared to paint something new and never think I'm good enough, so it doesn't go away.
That's good. Yeah, I've accepted that
Until
probably
the
good
eureka
stuff.
moment. Until like especially in Dwarven Forge, like the Eli's tree, Quildren tree. There's probably 5 different iterations. And each one I was like, why I stink. You know, like what I can't figure this out. It's not working. I can't wait for this to be my last Kickstarter because this is the end of me. Right? This is my demise. I will
Oh
be
my
fired.
gosh.
You know, doom and gloom. And then when I got it, I was like, heck yeah, baby! We got it! You know?
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby!
Time,
Let's
right?
go, baby.
And I'm like, hey, I rock! You know? That's
Amazing.
part of it.
Somebody pointed out that you look like Scarce today, Hamster, and that's
I look like
Man.
what? Scarce? Who's that?
man.
I'm looking it up.
He does YouTube news. So there was like a period of time of maybe a month tops, where everybody thought that he was going to be like this big relevant news channel, and it ended up going away pretty fast. I think he does something completely different.
But he did news.
He wore plaid and his hair looked similar, yes. I completely see it.
Yeah, he's known for wearing plaid, like a lot of plaid. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, I heard other patterns exist, but I've never owned any of them.
You wear a lot of, I guess, solid colors.
Yeah,
You wear a lot of solid.
I spent a solid year wearing Selena in the chat and confirm. I spent a number of consecutive months wearing mostly Dwarven Forge t-shirts.
I still see you wearing mostly that.
Almost
Yeah.
exclusively.
When are you gonna start wearing your overalls?
When I muster the confidence to wear overalls.
It's it's
They're
the
hanging right
same
there.
thing. No. It's the same thing as people not wanting to mini paint with you. You just gotta do it, kid. You gotta accept. Hey, I'm the kind of person that wears overalls because I want to be the person that wears overalls, and just do it.
I'm
See,
in.
I'm the exact opposite of that. Like, with Nate saying like he doesn't want to paint with Hamster because he doesn't want to get shown up. I only want to paint if Hamster's around. Like, but that's because I feel like he can jump in and fix the things that I'm screwing up.
Well, everything's an experiment. I screw up all... The only reason I could tell you how to fix the things is because I screwed them up too, you know?
Solid advice.
Dwarven Forge overalls? Yeah, we need the embroidered logo on some overalls.
We okay. I can't say anything, but I can say okay.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, also I want to say I'm excited because this is the new Hamster Hobby Corner, still under construction. Because we got the second room over here, so you might notice it looks a little different. And I'm very excited because I'm using the short end of the desk now for my hobby, which is going to make sure that I keep it organized. So instead of having the larger side, where I can fit everything in a giant messy pile because I never put things away, I have to put things away because it's a smaller space, which means I'll always know where everything is, and it will be
What if you just
clean.
learn to stack things higher instead of wider?
Oh, I stacked them pretty high.
All right. Well, you're
So
gonna
you're
have
gonna
to
knock
stack
out a
them
wall,
higher.
right?
Yes, I'm going to knock out a wall, yeah.
Excellent. Man, I'm trying to figure out how to. I feel like I'm gonna have to. I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to mix paints to like match what's here in the.
Yes, mix.
I'm trying to figure out like what the right way to do this is.
Well, okay.
I'm looking at a picture of the Spine Devil right now.
So in the chat, No Mercy says, "How are you gonna wear overalls if you never wear them?"
That's true. If I don't wear them, they'll never be worn. That's just a fact.
What a waste! What a waste of fabric.
So how I've been doing these guys is I basically do all of like the shadows and highlights in sepia tones. And that's basically where most of like the legwork is, and then I basically just coloring book the colors and thin glazes over the top, which will leave the shadows and highlights visible still because it's so transparent. I did the same thing on the speed paint miniatures for the live game, like the last one, where there's like those 4 miniatures, player characters.
Okay, what did you use for the skin on these on these devils.
So, one of the lessons I learned after Hellscape was that I need to write things down.
Oh, great.
No, actually, and also an important thing I'm starting to learn too is how to mix better and stuff, meaning I use only the Picorni colors. Those I used a bunch from an Army Painter set that I bought just because I was used to having like a bunch of premixed colors. No, but it was just like an olive green. Just like probably a base of like my brain wants to say Dark Angels green for all you Warhammer or Citadel painters out there. Just like a deep green highlighted with like an olive army camo / dead flesh sort of green.
Okay. I think the only options I got here, I've got a turf green.
That sounds close. Well, okay, so it's pretty green, grassy.
Turf green. I'm thinking I mix it with this kind of teal thing? Maybe?
That would brighten it up. So, let's see.
Because it looks like it has like a... Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like what the...
Well, so the
tone.
it's pretty desaturated, like grimy colors, right? Or how did it turn out from the factory? So you could get away with using like a gray or just a straight ivory or white and black, just because it's not a super bright bold color. Yeah, yeah, something like that. Try it.
Oh boy! All right.
Maybe. Let's see. You're going for the base, like a dark. Like you could just do straight black, probably.
Yeah,
but a small amount.
Then I'm figuring I just cut this red with tanned skin, or possibly even just white to.
Yes, that sounds
like
right.
Kind of
the fleshy
wings.
That sounds perfect.
And then red on the tips, and then skeleton bone for the bony.
Yeah, try that skeleton bone in the green too. That might get it close to that army green.
Yeah.
Good point.
Your camera's a little out of focus, Chris.
Mine is too. Mine's a certain
I gotta
point.
move everything around.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, where my miniature focus, I'm trying to make it higher so that I have to have better posture, so I'm standing up straight.
Like I'll figure out where my focus is supposed to be. So I think what I'm actually painting is gonna be like here. So if we're doing that, let's actually. That's here.
Oh my.
Seems about right.
Here, I can turn Chris
it's
up.
also quiet. Yeah, there you go.
In Discord.
All right.
Beep, 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 beep.
Let's throw.
Ooh, building Indominus Necrons. Now those models look freaking sweet.
Okay, so Indominus isn't one army; it's a whole set, right?
It's a set. It's a box set. Yeah.
So how many armies are in Indominus? Like, how much of an expansion? Because I'm still like new to the wargaming thing. I've still got your 40K like base source book.
Yeah.
There's a lot of armies in there.
Yeah, it's basically meant to be like a 2-player set where you could theoretically split it with a friend. So there's like basically 2 partial armies in Indomitus.
Okay. So there's 2 armies in there?
Well, there's 2 small size armies where you can play a small game with them. Probably, I mean, I haven't calculated the points. Have you guys in the chat? Anybody? It's probably about 1,000, maybe a little less. Probably half of a standard game, standard size.
Okay. I wound up with this.
What'd you mix?
I mixed the skeleton bone and the turf green.
Are you trying to do the dark base or to get that olive?
The dark base.
Okay, then just do straight black with it. Like, but add black really slowly because it's gonna be really impactful.
It'll dominate it.
Yeah, it'll indominate it. Yeah.
Nope. Swing and a miss.
Story of
Big
my
roll.
life, huh?
It's about 1,000 points. Man, I wish I understood. Okay,
Yeah,
so
like, yeah.
they run off of a point system.
Yes.
Gather that much. How many points?
Good job.
So about how many points are in an average Warhammer per game?
Standard size is 2,000.
Wow.
And so you could play a small game. You could like play a full game with 1,000 points. It'd be considered like a small game, but still like that's about the minimum. Some tournaments might do 1,750. And anything above 2,000 is like a lot.
For a social post this morning, we asked people their largest and smallest armies, and there were some people who said like 3,000, 4,000,
Oh yeah.
which is pretty big. That's
Yeah.
pretty beefy army.
How many points is like one unit worth, generally speaking?
Well, that's the idea. Is it depends. Like your average troop might only be like 100 points. But then an elite unit is going to be like 3 times as much. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a system in 40K called Apocalypse, which is basically like encouraging you to use your whole collection and play like 3, 4, 5,000 points.
Ooh.
The whole thing.
Sounds like a lot. Let's see.
We got a lot of people drinking wine in the chat.
28 points of things. Yeah, I wish I'd got something other than water to drink, but I just didn't think about it.
I am a lifelong soda drinker, so I'm drinking my replacement, which is some chocolate milk.
Man, I haven't had soda in so long. Like, it's a thing I just stopped drinking when I moved out to New York. Like, not even like for health reasons, but just as I need to save money, and this is not a
That's
necessity.
fair.
So I stopped getting drink. So I literally like was just drinking water and stuff when I moved out here, because I didn't want it. If I could just drink water for free, why would I pay for drinks? Basically, was my thought.
Yeah,
I
because I just had so much of it growing up, and then I couldn't afford it in my first job, but I worked selling the concessions so you could get free soda all the time. So I still just drank it all the time.
My family was one of those like low to no sugar kind of families for a long time. So at the most we'd be allowed like 1 can of soda like a week, which was like a treat. And it was Coca-Cola, and I hate Coca-Cola, so it was like I didn't drink it ever. But then the older I got, and like my first job was at McDonald's, so like that was free soda. And like I'm a ride or die pop Dr. Pepper kind of person, but Olipop makes like these soda type of drinks now, which are pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. I like once I became a full blown adult, I just switched to alcohol and not soda as much.
I'm from a huge fast food and soda family, and so yeah, like I was very used to that growing up. But then I don't know. I went like the first year that I was alone out here without really drinking it, and then when I went back, I was like, I just don't really have a taste for this anymore.
I can't kick it. So this is
and
week 1.
You're not alone. It is an addiction. It is genuinely an addiction for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think I'm there. So that's what I learned, right? As I was like, you can't cut it out. You have to replace it with something.
A
So
lot of people like seltzer.
I tried seltzer. Wasn't interesting enough. I couldn't do it.
Wasn't interesting enough.
So what I got is I got soy milk, and I mix it half regular, half chocolate, so it's not just full sugar.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so the theory being the protein in it will make you feel full faster. So I don't just like down, like when I would drink soda, I would just drink it by, the liter. So this makes me feel full, and I don't want to drink anymore.
Hey, Hamster.
Yo.
What do you say when you walk into a soda shop?
I say I'm ready for some pop because I'm from the Midwest, so I say
Oh,
pop.
that's fair. I was gonna say you say take me to your leaders.
I knew there was something there. I couldn't get it. You were ahead of me.
Yeah, it's my one. It's my one talent.
Take me to your leaders. That is what I would say.
Yeah.
Is that what you would say?
That's what I would say.
That's the. I don't know if that's your vernacular, really.
You don't
I've
think
never
so?
heard you say
Take
that
me
yet.
to your leaders.
Oh, now it sounds like you. I was wrong.
Yeah, wait, yeah, that's spot on. That's hamster. That's hamster exactly.
All right, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. You're right. He always says, "Take me to your liters" whenever he walks into a soda shop,
So unfortunately,
pop shop.
my hair dryer is in its usually rightful place in the bathroom. Normally it's at my hobby desk, but now I have to use some hamster power. Just blow on it.
What does that mean? Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Let's say like, what does that mean?
Wait. Okay, Chris.
Normally
do you
I have
say
it on my
soda?
desk to blow dry paint.
What's that?
Do you say soda?
So it depends. So I grew up partially in Utah, partially in Washington. And so I got used to both Coke being like just a standby for like all sodas basically, but I think soda is like what I kind of settled on. There are people in my family who just say Coke for everything.
Yeah.
They'll refer to Sprite or Dr. Pepper as a kind of Coke. And then there's sodas are good. We don't really say pop though.
Yeah, Toby and HR, I grew up in Minnesota, so I'm close.
I am from Iowa, so I am very, very close, and I win.
I once was in a lobby in Counter-Strike, and we were all just chatting, and I referred to it as pop, and everyone fell silent and then started furiously making fun of me.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's
I know
something-
Counter-Strike is toxic, but that's like
I've been pretty mercilessly made fun of for that as well. And then also, when I go back and I start saying soda casually, they're like, "You think you're better than us? Like, what happened? Where's the down to earth Macy we used to know?"
she's calling it soda, like one of those bougie types. What's next? You're gonna ask for Surge?
Oh, I loved Surge. I traded in the caps for a big old, like, beach hat.
Yeah, I bet you would, you blue blood. Oh man, what was it? Somebody, I guess Mountain Dew's doing this like Dewgarita thing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Somebody I follow. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Natalie Watson. Said she missed the days where she would she missed the days where she could just like get a bunch of friends and like go to Red Lobster to get Dewgaritas, and Mountain Dew like replied to her and were like, the only thing stopping you is you, and she like very angrily responded with like, we're in the middle of a pandemic, I can't just and and one of my favorite replies that I saw to that was somebody just saying like, Surge never would have done this to us. And it was just
That's hilarious.
pecan pie and pecan and pecan. Yeah, I don't know why I said pecan. Nobody says that. The term in the UK is soft drink. Yo, shout out to SpongeBob.
Yeah, shout out.
What?
Shout out to SpongeBob. Yup.
Yeah, because their Texas episode. One of the funniest jokes. Like it's, you know that a show like left an impact when there are jokes that literally get triggered anytime you hear a certain phrase. Like I cannot hear pecan pie without thinking of SpongeBob's Texas episode where they make all their favorite foods, including peas in a canned pie.
And that song, it's iconic.
It is like
It's on the same level as Dolly
episode.
Parton's Jolene. It's like up there, you know?
Yeah, it's iconic. They actually hired her to write that, and
Yeah, they did.
yeah,
True story. Michael Jackson actually did a cover of it too,
True,
but he went uncredited.
true story. Please don't Google it.
Never Google it.
For Google. It's,
The number of times that I think in my head from the SpongeBob movie, I just go, "I'm a goofy gooba, yeah,
Rock!
yeah."
yeah, dude, their first movie was actually like authentically good as well.
It was jumping the shark right there. That was their moment. They wanted to end it after that, but then it was too much of a cash crop for
Yeah, I
I
mean
forget who it
it's
was.
still going after the creator's death. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, they wanted to end it with the movie, but they just kept going.
yeah, I think he left after that. I think Hillenburg actually left after the movie.
Yeah, like a year or two after. I don't think it was immediately after, but like it was like pretty soon after.
I don't know. It's been like a whole thing too because now they're announcing like Squidward's getting like a spin-off and stuff, and Hillenburg was like,
What?
yeah, something like that, and like
I had no
Hillenburg
idea.
Hillenburg was like expressly against the idea of doing spin-offs and that, all that. So it's a whole mess.
Oh, Craig Keffler would like to know why rebels are being painted.
Yeah, why are Rebels being painted?
Well, I already painted the stormtroopers,
That's
but
That's a good reason.
yeah, I mean, this is just basically the idea behind the stream is we just, you know, do whatever we want within the hobby. So it's casual, and that's what I had on the shelf. So we got Star Wars Legion Rebels. Created. I'm saving Vader for the end. I have Luke, Vader, and the Boba Fett as well.
so
That's
this isn't
awesome.
so it's not the same tone as the original Devils.
It looks like you have a menu up, Chris, on your cam. Maybe it's on Hamster's end.
Oh, it's on
It's
my
on,
end
it's on
probably.
him, but he's got his Discord thing up. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
gone. Oh, there's my curse of the high. Yeah, I
Yes.
like that. I like that color though. I mean, maybe it would be more black or in a little blue slightly, but I like starting with that. I don't know. It might not be exact, but I dig it.
I can handle it with washes as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, knock it down with something like that. I think the stormtroopers are back.
I really hit the trouble before I turn into a slug in this chair, dude. I hear that. I've been in my chair. Hardcore. Wait, somebody's talking about Iron Brew. Dude, Iron Brew. I want to go back to Scotland just for Iron Brew. Honestly,
What is that?
it's so it's just like a I don't know how to describe it. It's a soda that is big in Scotland. And it is wait, the Murder Snowman of Iron Brew. Yeah, it's like a bright orange soda, and it's kind of I think it is an energy drink soda. It's very good.
Is it all Europe or is it just
I'm pretty sure
Scotland?
they sell it all over Europe, but it's like a primarily Scottish thing. It's like Orangina, where like yeah, Orangina is French, but they have it all over Europe. You know.
Oh, I'm not very cultured.
You can also get both of those things here. I have seen Iron Brew here. It's just not the same buying it here.
I think I've heard of Orangina, but
Orangina is like a carbonated orange juice drink.
makes sense. Sounds
Yeah.
like it. Yep.
It's very good. I haven't seen Iron Brew commercials though, but I did. I know when I went to Scotland, that was one of the things that people said was a thing we had to do, and so we did it. I know Isaac was really big on it. Isaac was much more of a soda person than I was. He still is.
Who's Isaac?
Isaac's one of my best friends from back home.
Cool.
We went to Scotland as a theater trip. We got nominated that year as like one of 50 like high school theater programs that got nominated to go, and so we went and performed at the Fringe Festival in Scotland in
Oh,
Edinburgh.
that's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a very cool experience. I did that when I was 17, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so we spent a day and a half in London and then 2 weeks in Edinburgh, and it was definitely a highlight of my life.
Yeah, sounds sweet.
Yeah, something
Yeah, I'm very jealous.
something I would like to be able to go back and do again, but you know,
Pandemic.
pandemic, money in general, um, and then just also like, would I want to go back to Scotland, or would I want to go somewhere completely new if I had the opportunity to take a trip? Um, but yeah,
So Hamster.
Huh?
Where would you go if you were given a trip?
Oh man. I mean, I've never been to England. I kind of want to check it out.
Yeah,
But
that's
but you
fine.
know what? Here's what I would actually do is I would just want to. The great thing about Europe is like, it's way more compact than other groups of countries. So like you can check a bunch of them out at once. I feel
yeah.
like.
No, that's absolutely true. I mean, it's the way that it all functions. It's the way that like the East Coast of the U.S. is like way more connected than the rest of it. You know,
Yeah. So I would want to do like a make the rounds a little bit.
Mm.
like you can take a train down to D.C. in a matter of hours for like $50,
Right.
which is crazy to think about. And it's something I've done a couple times. But
The first time I came to New York, it was overnight on a like one of those mega buses, and it took an entire like 2 day journey, and it was horrible. And now they no longer service that area of like where I grew up, so it's not possible anymore. And I'm glad I did it when I like was young enough to get like cranes in my neck without going to a doctor.
the first festival my short film got into was down in South Carolina, and it was close to where Miles's parents had moved. Miles was the one of my best friends. He was the lead in the film, and we didn't have any money, and so we literally found out a way to take two different mega buses to get there for like $10.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's wild.
and so we did that, and we were on the bus for I think it was literally 12 hours on a bus, two buses, and yeah, that was how we that was how we went to that festival. It's a way to travel. It's I think trains are my favorite way to travel, honestly. Trains are super cozy. um I like being able to watch the scenery. It's like a plane with more freedom and
Right.
more comfort.
Yeah, it'd be
Like
nice to see the sights like as you travel.
that
I've
was
never.
that was one of my favorite things about Edinburgh was we take the train. We weren't staying in Edinburgh, so we would take the train there. It'd be like a 10-minute train ride, and we'd get to see the countryside go by and everything. And the countryside in Scotland is absolutely gorgeous. And one of my favorite days was actually a day that we decided to take off of the festival. Me and two of the other guys that went, and we just took a train a couple stops. We just got on a train and took it for a bit, and got off at like this small like fishing town on the coast, and we just walked around there for like a couple hours, and it was beautiful. Like it was, yeah, it was great. I don't know. I love trains, man. Yeah, I want to go to I want to see the train system in Japan as well, because that's like legendary. I just want to go to Japan in general. I need to do the Shenmue tour. Um,
I've actually never been on a traditional train, and that's been something on my bucket list since I was like 2.
just all those crazy hippie trains.
Hippie train, like just like a traditional, like nice, like 2 miles an hour kind of like whoop train.
You've only been on like subways, is what you're trying to say?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are definitely a very different vibe than than trains. Um, is it a rose? Oh, is it a rosé? They're talking about your wine. Got it.
Yeah.
I was like, is what a rose? What? Baby.
I compare you to a kiss by a rose from the grave.
Ooh.
The more I get at you, the stranger
Stranger
it feels.
feels the air.
Yeah.
New,
All right.
new stream. We better change the title. This is Twitch Sings now.
You know, the last time we sang, we got nothing but positive response. So let's definitely keep that going.
Wait, when's the last time?
When the cat Christmas Carol thing was brought up,
Oh yeah.
Cat Christmas Carol.
you remember it was the last painting stream that we did during Wildlands. Any of our real fans in chat will remember.
Oh my gosh. Wait, what cat Christmas Carol? Oh, the meow. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we ended
I
up just
know
doing
what
we
you're
ended up
talking
just doing
about.
Carol of the Bells, but meowing. It
Meow,
was
meow.
awful. It was like I will admit it was a terrible thing to subject people to. However, it still hurt how rude people were about.
Yeah. That was our first cover. That was really rude.
It was our first cover, and also like we were being ironic. Like we weren't trying to
Wait.
sound good.
We should have
Wait, you weren't
rehearsed.
serious?
We should.
You weren't into that? That wasn't real for you?
Oh.
All right. So our mission. We got to agree on our
Yeah,
mission statement
so
as a
now,
band.
So now I'm working on the flesh part of the wings, which I'm gonna try mixing red with tan skin and see how that comes out.
Yeah, that sounds like a good combo. I saw someone saying if I travel, I would just travel to the overall store. So we're. Also, thank you, Crate. I love those stormtroopers too, man. Some of my favorites I've done.
Oh yeah, like the weathered ones you did, where
Yeah.
like the scratches on the helmet and stuff.
Yeah, even these guys, this at least on the test model, I'm still trying to do some of the weathering and stuff. Well, that's kind of why the sepia value sketch sort of thing helps with that, because it just ends up being kind of warm and gritty. And I also, this beige that I just did on these, I end up dry brushing over all the colors anyway, so it looks sort of dusty afterward. But yeah, I'm basically just like trying not to worry about anything except shadows and highlights with these brownish tones. And then it's a little coloring book after
Ooh.
that.
Can I confess to something Star Wars related?
What?
Never Star Wars.
Confess?
When I was a kid, my favorite character was Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, I knew as soon as you...
it was a character made for kids. It's not that bad. That's not that bad.
No, that is true. It was made for
I feel
that.
pretty bad about it though, like based on seeing what people have said. So
I mean, look,
not gonna lie,
the
he still brings me some joy.
The abuse that the actor for Jar Jar took was honestly like really depressing. Because like that he got like mercilessly handed.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
He's just acting.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, why the
He
actor?
didn't write the script or anything, but
yeah.
Not that the writers also deserve to be harassed. Nobody deserves it, honestly. It's
like
it's optional media. Like
right.
No.
Controversial opinion. I don't like it when people get harassed.
Yeah, that's pretty controversial. You might want to keep that off the stream.
I know we're not supposed to get political on these streams.
It's pretty political.
But I think pushing people to harm themselves is a bad thing.
Is it considered mini painting if I like bite my nails and paint them?
I don't know. Are you gonna play with it later?
Yeah, are you gonna play in games?
Play games with them. I mean, I could try. I don't know how I would do that.
To be fair, Star Wars is a Western in space for kids. Yeah, absolutely. There sure are a lot of grown people who get really mean about it.
It's because grown people have nothing better to do than to complain about kids' things.
It's not like they... Yeah. You know what? You're right. I hadn't considered that. I'm sorry.
I mean, like, also I wanted, I like Jar Jar specifically because my dad would do his voice, so then, like, that, like, also added to it. My dad could probably not do any other voices, but Jar Jar, he was pretty point.
Star Wars was never a big part of my life, but as a kid, when I would see it, Jar Jar was something I would actually, like, take with me, yeah. Like, because, you know, when you're a kid, that's the stuff that appeals to you. Like, it's R2, it's Jar Jar, it's the loud and funny, weird stuff.
That was, like, the movie that I made my parents keep replaying when I was a kid. Like I knew it better then than I do now. I don't even remember it significant. Like I know the plots and story and everything, but like I haven't seen it in a good 10 years, and like I liked it more as a baby, I think, than I do now.
You know, I'm just proud that you've seen it.
Lost taste.
I'm proud of you for having seen it.
Thanks.
I do wonder how much people. I guess I do wonder, like, the lore of the DF streams, how much people remember and take with them and all that. Man, I really should have done these wings before I did the bones along the wings. Now that I think about it.
Hamster, you're the one painting the Star Wars characters. How do you feel about Star Wars?
I freaking love Star Wars. Like, it wasn't. Let me think. I watched three things growing up. It was always one of these three. It was Lord of the Rings, Indiana Jones, and Star Wars.
Oh, Indiana Jones was awesome.
I would just cycle
So was
between.
Lord of the Rings. All those were great options.
Yeah, I just cycled through all those. But when, let's see, definitely saw the prequels in theaters. I don't remember my experience with them that much, honestly.
I remember seeing Attack of the Clones in theaters. We saw it. Because it came out that summer, I think. I remember seeing it when we went to Arizona for a cousin's wedding. Because they decided to get married in Phoenix in the summer. That was terrible.
But when the first new one came out, I did a marathon at the theater of all the originals and the prequels, and then finally the latest one, and that was an experience. I had a Darth Vader onesie. And yeah, boy, that was more a test of staying awake.
Oh yeah, I feel like with marathons, it's always the real struggle. I feel like I've talked about this also with Chris recently, but have you seen the cartoon, like The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings series?
Yo, the cartoon Hobbit is incredible.
I
It's
saw it
amazing.
as
That
a
was
kid, and I
my
remember
childhood.
liking it.
That was another one that I was like, this all the time, always is my movie.
We didn't own it at home.
Wildlands. I think we talked about this during one of the Wildlands streams.
Ah.
Yeah, we had that. We had a big Lord of the Rings Hobbit discussion. It was the
Oh
building.
yeah, you're right. Where we argued about hobbitses.
So you were always like a kind of fantasy nerd kid, Hamster.
Oh yeah, I remember painting some Warhammer dwarves while watching Lord of the Rings.
Did you kind of view it all? So here's my question: when you engage with multiple fantasy properties as a kid, did you kind of bleed them all into each other, or did you have a very clear separation of like what's in which property and all that as a kid?
I separated them because I remember specifically thinking that because I would watch the Harry Potter movies, and I do remember liking the books, but I always thought, like, look, the sword and sorcery fantasy is my jam, less so than like magical wands and everything. So I remember differentiating those two. Again, affection for both, but that I did separate them enough to say I definitely like this sort of fantasy or magic, like battle magic, over like, I don't know. I saw the Harry Potter stuff as tame, which I know it gets pretty gritty by the end, but I definitely separated those two worlds. And I would think I would go back and forth on, like, do I like the fantasy or like the space fantasy in Star Wars more than the others? So I would definitely, like, I had a hierarchy in my head that would change, but I definitely would have them all separated.
I was pretty big on Harry Potter as well as a kid. I was very into the books. I have like a very firm memory of when the last book came out, and I tended to just combine everything that I liked into one canon in my head, more or less. And I would blend elements from all of it in like my play sessions and all that.
So that's like your version of the perfect fantasy.
Basically, yeah. Like I would take stuff from. So like a really weird thing. I was very into Dragon Riders of Pern as a kid,
Oh yeah.
and I think that might have been the fantasy world I was the most into.
What about Redwall?
Oh, I was super into Redwall.
Redwall was cool, yeah.
I think Redwall and Dragon Riders were my biggest like of that kind. I think I did hold Harry Potter as its own thing, probably because it had movies. I don't know. Harry Potter was also a thing that like everybody was into.
Right.
Like, whereas Pern and Redwall, I had very few people to talk to about it, if any. I think there was one kid in my elementary school who knew Redwall, but it was mostly a thing that was like for me.
There was a handful of kids in my school that knew it because we had it at the school library, so people would like, exchange it as it came back in. But very few people, like you said, Harry Potter was the mainstream. That was kind of the niche.
Yeah. I feel like that's what took like nerd culture and like nerddom into like more of a mainstream, or like it's what kind of pushed it to be like, ooh, I'm a nerd. Like
that was a very real thing.
Yeah.
It was because I remember thinking that. So like back when I was a dumb kid, and I'd buy into a lot of the I'd buy into like the idea of like the cliques and all that, and so I definitely got very I would get like self-righteous or like over dramatic about like the preps or the nerds or whatever. And I remember actively being annoyed with everybody calling themselves nerds because they were seeing like the Harry Potter movies, and I was like, it's not that nerdy. Like everybody's doing it. What are you talking about? It was like a point of pride because I was that pathetic as a child.
No, I understand where it comes. I had a similar thing. It's kind of like for a long time, it's something that you have to like kind of fight back against, where it's like it's a point of shame where people are like nerd, like gross, and then like once everybody's trying to claim it after, it seems like they had like kind of ostracized you for it. Like I get where the like pain and like the shame comes from, but it happens. Like whatever. I don't it's a valid experience, but the important thing is it's now norm and everybody's kind of okay with it. Like whatever makes you happy, and now it's not a point of like I don't know, popularity.
As for Redwall though, I've still got two shelves on my bookshelf that are dedicated to Redwall. I ran a one shot. I wrote and like ran a one shot last Thanksgiving, based on Redwall, just because I liked it a lot, and I was trying to think of like something fun or special we could do. And Redwall is always something I've kind of associated with Thanksgiving, largely because Thanksgiving is like it's a food holiday, and Redwall is a very big part of it is the feasts and stuff like that. So I did this one shot that was a bunch of riddles, mostly all taking place in the Abbey. Some of them are riddles that I more or less lifted from the books. Others are riddles that I like created entirely. And man, the biggest thing I learned, trying to correctly pace players solving a riddle is really difficult. Like, because you're waiting for people for things to click for people, and for them to like realize certain things and have like specific trains of thought. And that's just a really hard thing to predict. And yeah, it was very hard.
Yeah, it sounds difficult, but it sounds really cool. I remember you talking about that.
It was a lot of fun. I've been thinking about doing another one this year.
Got you should.
Months to figure it out.
If you need a test audience, let me know.
Yeah. But I don't know. Redwall is still something that's very important to me. Remember, Brian Jake's death was like the first celebrity death that I think meant a lot to me. Or like affected me.
Heavy.
Yeah. which was funny because like it didn't mean anything to anybody else. It was like I didn't watch a lot of TV or anything, so when an actor on a show that was popular or something would die, like I wouldn't know who they were, and I was kind of like out of the loop in that respect. And then the thing with Brian Jakes happened, and nobody knew who I was talking about.
Mine was Anthony Bourdain.
That was fairly recent. Yeah, that was.
June of 2 years ago, 2018.
Yeah.
I think it was June 16th. I don't know. June 18th, maybe.
He was somebody I never really watched or read any of his stuff or anything.
Oh man,
Everything I've heard afterwards makes it seem like it was really great, and I kind of wish that I had. I just never did.
I mean, that media is still there, so
Yeah.
it's not like you're actually missing out on like the ability to enjoy all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a pretty. He just seems really genuine, which I liked a lot, and he wasn't trying to hide anything, including like his own issues and like also the issues of like other countries and other people, and like he seemed really honest and genuine, but also like very blunt. I don't know. I just respected him a lot as a journalist, and he never classified himself as a journalist, so it was like even more respect.
It's fair. Now there are very few negative things I've heard about Anthony Bourdain, and most of the times when I do hear anything negative about him, it usually just seems like it's people who are jealous or trying to be contrarian.
Mm.
Which, happens.
A lot of people in the chat, and then also I've noticed in like my friend circles, have had Robin Williams be one of their big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah. That one hit me.
Yeah, suicide's no joke.
He man, I mean, like, was he in more formative like movies for kids than like anybody? Like there's a long time where like everything he did just seemed very influential. It seemed like a big deal. Even if he did things that like weren't necessarily great, like
Yeah,
looking back on it, like Flubber's not a great movie.
But I would watch it because of him, though.
Exactly. He had like that kind of magnetism that he elevated the stuff he was attached to.
But I always used to get Flubber and Honey I Shrunk the Kids confused with one another. They're nothing alike.
Wait, what confused with Honey I Shrunk the Kids?
Flubber.
Flubber?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I mean, it is like a goofy, like, dad does experiments, goes wrong thing, I guess. Dad scientist. Dad scientist is going to be my next D&D character.
I feel like you're being very generous, but yeah. Sure.
There were less similar movies out there.
Well, like Dr. Dolittle was the third one. I got confused with those two.
That's a little weird, yeah. That was actually pretty weird. That one's got talking animals.
It's true. It's very different. Do you guys know what the Fisher King is?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I've heard of that.
All right, yeah. A few people are mentioning it in chat. Vertex Artist says the Fisher King. If you guys haven't seen the Fisher King, watch that one.
That is, yeah, that's a movie I've heard very good things about, but it's one of his more, I don't know if it's indie, but it's, I've heard a couple people whose opinions I care about talk about that in a very positive light.
Oh, Tom Waits is in it. And it's by Terry Gilliam. What?
Nice.
Amazing.
I think I need to stop obsessing over the minute details on the switch between the wings and the...
See, you're kind of out of focus.
Sorry, I pulled it in because I was doing the
Oh, I see.
full details.
Oh, that's nice.
I need to learn to blend better.
Got a master painter here that can help you.
Oh, you paint?
Well, what I learned is I don't need to blend better. I need to not detail until it's blocked in, right? So you can the blending part can happen after you've blocked in some sort of very blocky sections, and then you can just work on the transition in between. But my mistake is always worrying about the transition before I've actually set the extremes. You know.
Okay. I did that thing we talk about where you turn the brush sideways and you go over like the raised parts of
Yeah.
a thing to get the ridges along the wings. Um, it's not perfect, but a lot better than it could have been.
Yeah, it looks cool. The biggest
So-
thing is separation, the way you can see like the spines in between each of the fleshy bits. So
I
Yeah.
gotta remember that I'm also gonna be looking at it from a distance most of the time. So it's
yes,
as long as that reads. It also does look notably different on camera than it does in person, which I think is pretty funny. But I think that's just life.
yeah,
That's
that always seems to
cameras.
happen.
I'm gonna try doing the bone tips. Breaking out the paintbrushes after a couple weeks off. Thanks for the motivation. Yeah, absolutely, man. So one thing I was thinking could be kind of cool about doing this is we all just like post pictures of what we work on during these. Um, so if you're painting or sculpting or anything along with us, we'll just post it in Artist Alley afterwards and kind of talk about it. Because I don't know, that's one of the things. It's just a very common. It's just a very common thing with people with artistic pursuits in general. I think because there's a lot of like, I just need the time to do it, and so in the Discord, I saw people saying a lot of the stuff that that Hamster out here you say, where it's like, I just need to actually take the time to like do this, or I need an excuse to do it. So I thought this could be a good excuse for us to work through things. Whereas Artist Alley, it's in the Discord. Let's see. Bam. We have an Artist Alley channel in the Discord, basically. We've especially after the Kickstarter, we've really fleshed out a lot of the channels, added a couple things based on. So what we have is a lot of the people who follow our stuff also make things themselves. Uh, Tabletop just attracts a lot of creative people.
Focus.
I'm
Sorry,
I'm
I'm trying to. I'm backseat driving.
I know, but I'm only one person. I can't.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to.
Let
help,
the
I'm
artist
sorry.
work.
Okay. You
As
do
long as-
you, Chris. You do you.
As long as they're looking at Hamster's thing, that's all that matters. Yeah, those are reading way better on camera than they are in person. Huh. So fuck it, I guess.
Okay.
The I heard a miniature painter, like a really hardcore display miniature painter, say something interesting once where he's like, the most important thing that I care about in my miniature painting is the photograph, because that's how it's consumed. You know, like even if 100 people see it in person, you put out the photograph, and then thousands of people see that. So it's kind of an interesting thought when you say how it looks different on camera and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just something in general that's kind of hard to get people to understand sometimes.
Yeah, like a lot of miniature painters have a preference on like what color the background is, like black or white or a pattern or something, or sometimes they'll even post it on multiple backgrounds just to give you a sense of it, how it actually looks.
Well, because it's also a thing with our pieces. Even like stuff will read differently in a video than the stuff actually looks on the table.
Yeah.
So sometimes we'll get people saying like, I don't really like how it looks this way, and it's like, once you actually have it, like it actually looks different than this. It's just the human eye works differently than a camera sensor.
Right.
You know, and that's why cinematography is such a complicated field, and that's why films are so complicated to put together. Um, it's basically when you're making a movie, you're having to lie in a bunch of ways to uh, to make it seem true uh, to like how it looks when you're actually there, like experiencing it and all that. Like the way that light works, the way that like even down to like the frame rate and all that, just like it all has to be like really carefully constructed to actually read right. And so it happens with our pieces as well. It's like people were commenting on uh, like how the grids on the battle boards look in pictures compared to how they looked in that wargame stream compared to how they looked in videos. And it's like, yeah, that's the thing. Like depending on how you're seeing something,
Well,
it reads entirely differently.
even during the process, because we were working remote, sometimes I would send a picture and be like, "Yeah, that looks great," and then it'd come in, and then it would need to be tweaked a bunch, because
Yeah,
it would look different in person.
yeah.
Says that when he takes pictures of his ultramarines, you don't see the edge highlighting. So that's a bummer.
Yeah, that is definitely hard. Like you do all these cool technical things, and sometimes you just can't see it. Especially, I obviously love how everything looks together in the cinematic shots, but sometimes with the dramatic lighting, you miss some of the. And eventually we do up close and everything, so it doesn't actually break my heart too much. But sometimes I'm like, you can't even see the thing.
It's very real. Like, oh wow, should use this one.
Hey, Nerd Debauchery, how you doing?
Under batteries here.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Wargaming Recon, good to see you. I'm well. How are you doing?
All right.
Can you explain why you do the brown and the highlight and then paint over the whole thing with the green as opposed to just starting green? Noob question. That's from No Mercy Podcast.
It's basically just an efficiency thing where it's something I tried on these first. I just did the test model. Oh, I did it sort of with the stormtroopers, but not in sepia. I did it in like black and white, where basically, I'm just thinking about the shadows and the highlights, not thinking about any color, not thinking like, okay, green, on the green parts, what is the shadow and the highlight and where am I placing that? All right, moving on to the brown or the orange parts, what's the highlight and the shadow? Just getting everything getting all the values done first, so that's out of the way, and then I'm using a glaze, a very transparent layer of paint, to kind of color it like a coloring book, but it's transparent enough that all that work I did before is visible. But it also kind of helps. We were just talking about blending and transitioning. So this is a perfect example of just doing a really rough sketch and blocking in a gradient from top to bottom. We got some cool definition on there. It's not super neat, but it doesn't have to be, because when we start putting the glazes on it, it's going to hide any rough parts, but you still get some good depth. And this is only one layer, so you can always go back to a second layer as well. Like this pocket is missing some of the green, so you might touch it up a little bit. So it's basically just compartmentalizing the steps for my brain, especially with a large gaming unit like this that I just kind of want to get to a nice tabletop standard. This is compartmentalizing my mental work.
Large gaming unit was my nickname in high school.
All right, Rabbit, I'll put up these photos in the Discord. Sleep well. Yeah, of course, No Mercy. I love talking about painting, and yeah. Like Chris asked me like one small question, and I sent him like a bunch of paragraphs last night. I felt like I was being verbose.
Yeah, I still haven't read them. I'll get around to it eventually. That's not true.
I wouldn't blame you.
C-Man AJ says, you know what? I would love to know, Hamster, if you could pick only the top 6 colors of Picorni paints, what would you order?
Top 6 colors in Picorni. Well, here's the
Also,
thing. Yeah.
are you using Vallejo game colors?
Well, that's a
right now?
quick answer. I have the model color set. I don't own any game color, but they are slightly similar. I think the formula is maybe slightly different, but it's mostly the color selection. I think that's different. Anyway, I all of my Vallejo paints are model color, and these glaze colors I'm actually using scale 75, and so they have a gel based medium, which means when I thin it into a glaze, it doesn't break down as much. So these are really nice for glazing, in this way.
Do you have any Citadels?
I have a few Citadels. You know, growing up, on Warhammer, of course, I walked into my Warhammer store, and that's all they had was Citadel. So my whole collection was like the old range of Citadel with like the classic Chaos Black and Chainmail and Skull White, Goblin Green.
I really like Citadel.
Yeah, they have some good quality paints. The pots have always been a pain. I like the dropper bottles.
I like the pot. I don't know why, but there's something really exciting about having to be like incredibly careful and then like
I get that.
I don't know.
The tactile experience.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
But yeah, that's what I have here. What else I own a few of the contrast paints by Citadel, a couple of their technicals and base. I wanted to try out some of the new range when I started getting hobby stuff again. I wanted to try out because they were like my first love, right? I have a few coat to arms. Let's see. Oh, Pro
That's
Acryl.
nice.
Oh yeah, that's looking awesome. Yeah. I have the Chimera single pigment paints that I like a lot. And actually, on my Instagram, I posted that miniature I did, Joe Manganello's miniature. I actually did art brand heavy body acrylics that I was testing out, and that was interesting. But what was the first question again?
What are your top 6?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, so if I had to pick 6, obviously I want to have mixing in mind, right? So all of our we finally got primaries this year where we have a red, a blue, and a yellow. So definitely lava yellow, basalt blue. What's the pronunciation? I always pronounce that wrong. Basalt.
I say basalt.
Basalt.
Yeah, basalt blue, regal red. Then I think my favorites. Oh man, it's hard. Like I'm trying to think of like what my actual favorites are and what I would want for just to have as my only paints. I would need a white and a black. So I'd have those. What is that? That's already 5. So white, black, red, blue, yellow. But I like the greens and I like Bubbles Blue.
Oh, Bubbles Blue is
Bubbles
really
Blue
good.
is one of my favorites. Deep Lava is one of my favorites. What would be the 6th one? Maybe
would
like a neutral
personally
brown, like
I would go
Earthstone?
the bronze.
oh, a metallic. No, you're right. No, you know what? It would actually be Sassoul Silver because again, you can use this glazing technique, where you can paint anything silver and do a transparent glaze over it to make it look like other metals. Like again, on Joe's Mini.
That's really smart.
On Joe's Mini, I did the gold parts silver and I used yellow ink over the top to
Wow.
make it look like gold.
Momo, no.
Someone said Dungeon Gray. Yeah, they get the old casting color to hide your mistakes and start over. I actually was thinking we should have a paint that's a pre-mixed casting color. We don't have that.
We kind of need it based
Yeah.
on like
I need it when I'm
Kickstarter.
got to restart pieces.
for the Kickstarter when we had to do the base color on some of those resin pieces. It was like 2 weeks worth of work
Yeah.
just to like paint those, and it would have made more time
Yeah,
available if it were.
but I think if I had to pick like some of my favorite colors that I like a lot from Bicorni, it's Deep Lava, which I used a lot in Hellscape. It's like a deep red, kind of a brown red, but leans heavily on the red side. So I think it's just a really interesting brown. I also like base wood for that reason because I like when the neutral colors they seem a little more fantastical to me when they like lean towards something on the color wheel as opposed to brown, like a really red brown or a really green brown or something like that. So basewood deep lava is some of my favorites. Bubbles Blue I already mentioned, love that color, it just pops. Oh, I fell in love with highlighting with the acid yellow. Or I think it might just be called
Ooh.
acid. It's sort of fluorescent and just super, super bright. So I added just a touch of it to the cauldron tree, and it just gives it that magical sort of glow. Even though it's sort of a deep orangey overall color, it pushes the highlights. It makes it really poppy. Uh, I'm trying to decide. I can't decide if I like shallow water green or deep water green more.
Oh, shallow.
No, okay, for different uses though, because the shallow it has a little more like yellow in it, and the deep has more of the blue in it.
Yeah,
So
so shallow is what you use for actual living plants and
yes,
stuff
yes,
like
it's
that
the
for the
organic
base.
green.
And
Yeah.
then the deep, that's more like I don't know, you could do swampy stuff with that. Ooh, oh my god.
Bye.
My iPad does not agree with me.
No, I totally agree with that. Like, yeah, but that's what was interesting. Again, on the cauldron tree, on the canopies, most of the organic stuff across Dread Hollow and Forest is shallow, nice organic warm green.
Yeah.
But that's why I used deep water green on that one, and just used ivory and stuff to punch it. So it's almost like minty, like more of the blue in it. So
Oh,
I like that.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah. And I do love a good green blue.
Arcane
good
acid,
teal.
yeah, Selena. Yeah, arcane acid is what the color's called. Which one do you like? You said, Mace.
Me?
Yeah, what did you just say?
I do like I like deep water blue. I mean deep water green.
Yeah,
But yeah, I like them both. I just like teal in general.
yeah, yeah, me too. Huh.
Got distracted by Momo.
Oh, is he hanging out with you? He's off cam.
Yeah, he's been here for the week.
Oh.
Doesn't like when you squeeze his nose, but also I don't like when he ruins my rugs, so it's even.
Uh-oh.
It's fine.
I think I did all the bones. Which there's a lot of bones on this.
You're actually doing a really like
I kept
this reminds me a lot of the original piece.
I kept going to move. I mean, I'm looking at a picture of it, and
Oh, that makes sense.
we'll see. I just I kept getting ready to move. The problem is that the picture of the devil is only from the front on. So
You're guessing for the back.
yeah, I'm guessing for the back, like where things should be. So I kept getting ready to move on, and then realized like, oh wait, there's bone spikes going down his arms as well, so I gotta hit those. And none of that.
Ooh, okay. Seaman AJ says, okay, so for those of us Masochist Wildlands backers who paint their own, what corny colors do I need?
What for Wildlands?
Yeah. If they ordered unpainted Wildlands, what are they gonna need? It also depends on the biome, but
Yeah, it definitely depends on the biome. Like, the mountains is a lot of base gray, caverns dry brush. So anything that's like green and organic, like all the forest floors, the moss on the mountains, even on the swamp is just a muddied version of Dread Hollow forest. So that shallow water green is super important. The base wood is super important as well, a base for all the wood, the trees and such. Let's think. Stucco is a highlight for the wood,
yeah.
and you mix. Sometimes it's a bit of a mix with base wood. So the wood is a lot of base wood and stucco as the main colors. All the grass and moss and brush and bushes, shallow water green and moss green, base and highlight. Those are your main colors for that. Some earthstone for the swamp on the forest to kind of muddy some of the banks. And black too for the sludge, black and earthstone. If you use gloss on some of the banks, would be cool too. I don't know. We didn't do that, but mountains again is a mix of Cavernous Dry Brush, gray, a little bit of earthstone, and a lot of dry brushing.
Is there going to be a painting guide for all of it?
How 100%. I think we each biome will have one eventually.
Yeah, we've talked about it with Aaron. It's definitely something we want to make sure we do.
Yeah.
Just because the nice thing is, because of the biome approach,
It's actually pretty easy to like just the fact that the stone color is the same through Aranthor and Dreadhollow and the swamp, and the fact that the grass color is the same through all the biomes and stuff like that. Like, yeah, we've talked about it, but we're definitely gonna make some painting guides for this.
Oh, I forgot ruins.
Mm.
well,
That's-
you never. Well, you were.
We
You
did
were,
that on stream though too.
you were never really into the runes, though.
I yeah. Oh yeah, there is a painting string where I painted the ruins. So it starts with the basalt blue, dry brush bubbles blue, and the thing that really turns it in from a big blueberry into ruins is then stone edge dry brush over that. And so it's blue, bubbles blue, paint all the detailing, like the silver and stuff. You paint the silver blue because it's really transparent silver, so when you paint the silver over the blue, it kind of has a blue magical look. But then you do all the details before the stone edge dry brush, because then it does kind of the similar technique to what I said with these guys, where this is just dry brushed with beige and it makes it look all dusty. So the stone edge being after the details makes it give it that ruin age look. And then all the organic stuff is the same as all the other sets. It's the shallow water green and some moss green, and then you're done.
Woo!
Oh, and you use the shallow green and base wood for all the weathering on some of the broken parts. You have some smudgy, mossy, sludgy areas.
Yeah, there's like some greenery on the room.
Throw some more adjectives out there. I like hearing you drop those adjectives. Sludgy.
I kind of want to make Momo try the doggy wine again.
Are you telling me you're gonna force feed this dog alcohol on camera?
No, there's dog wine. I bought him dog wine.
It's still alcohol, isn't it?
No,
Why is it called dog wine?
because it's for white women who have nothing better to do than to buy something for their pet so they feel like they're not drinking alone.
Wasn't that what that was for in the first place?
Oh my god. It has no alcohol. You think I would give Momo alcohol?
Then wait, so
You
but
want
then
alcohol?
why bother calling it dog wine?
To make it worth $12. It costs more than my bottle of wine. It better be it genuinely does nothing. And he doesn't even want it. It does not come in a box.
Having grown up in this consumer culture for all 28 years of my life, this makes no sense to me.
Dogs are something different, Chris. That's what it is. You don't get it because you're a cat lady.
I love dogs.
No, you don't get it.
I genuinely am more into dogs than cats. I just also have roommates who leave food out, and I could not have a dog around that.
Well, we're doing a charcuterie night. So, I got him wine, and he does not want it.
He's not here for your bougie,
Boozy booge.
boozy.
I'm gonna make him drink it anyway.
Oh my god.
This Maze, everything about this just
Oh, look at him. I haven't seen him in so long. Hi,
got a
Momo.
watch list.
Oh my god. Alright, I'm done painting. I'm just gonna look at Momo the rest
He's
of the time.
learning a new trick, and he's
Aw.
doing very well.
Good.
Yeah, you are. We're teaching.
Yeah,
him
let's
how
get
to-
some emotes
This is
in the
my
chat.
hobby tonight. Yeah, let's get more Momo emotes.
Oh yeah, I guess we gotta get the new emote set up, huh?
Yeah, but that might be. Like, we can get some before the end of Pledge Manager, but for all of them, it's definitely going to be an after Pledge Manager thing.
Well, it's something. It's also like it's not something that has to be done. It's just a fun extra thing.
It's true.
So like it's not a priority by any means.
It's true.
But
I'm not gonna make him drink the wine, but I am going to put it in front of him. I'm gonna see if he wants to try it.
Mace, you're describing entrapment.
Shut up! Well, you want some wine?
I can't support this.
You want some wine? Mama, you want some wine?
I can't. Why did you do this? Why did you willingly make these choices?
Because I'm having a mental breakdown. Stop asking these open-ended questions.
Yeah, well, like, what else is new? Like, why?
I don't know. I figured that would have covered it all. Nothing else is new. How are you doing?
Like, mentally?
Yeah. No.
I'm still, like, genuinely recovering from the Kickstarter.
Yeah, I still am. I think everybody's kind of still tired.
So I fell asleep in the middle of the stream last night, the Natural One stream last night.
Oh no.
Luckily, I think Tyler noticed, and so he waited and turned it off when it was time for it to be over. But then I woke up at like 2:30 in the morning, and so then I was up and I couldn't fall back asleep until 7. And I don't know, it's very odd. Like while the Kickstarter was going, I was on a very consistent sleep schedule. And then as soon as it ended, everything fell apart.
Ian,
What was that?
it fell apart?
Yeah, like my sleep schedule just like became
Oh, I
instant.
thought you said stream schedule. Sorry.
No, sleep schedule.
Okay, yeah.
The stream schedule was not existent until this week. So
It's true.
yeah.
Yeah, sleep is a funny thing these days.
Yeah. Considering that grapes can be poisonous for dogs, don't really get why giving wine to dogs, even if it's made for them and non-alcoholic, is a thing to start with.
It doesn't have grapes in it.
What's in it? I don't understand. So, oh man, I
It's,
don't.
okay,
understand
let me go get the
this.
bottle. I'll show you them.
Just from like a cultural standpoint, I don't understand this concept in any sense.
Alright, so,
Am I old?
no, I'm just crazy.
No sleep isn't a sleep schedule. That's
Greens, filtered water, organic chamomile extract, glucosamine HCl, rosemary extract, and sodium. No grapes, no wine.
chamomile. Okay, so it's like
It's basically a tea that they sell for an absurd amount of money.
tea.
Yeah, why not just call it dog tea? It would sell the same.
Would it?
I think it's a branding thing for the clientele. I
It
think
is. Oh, it absolutely is.
Where are the dog mimosas?
Oh my gosh.
You know those would sell like crazy.
They would.
We could literally call them mimosas.
Let's start a company. You'll make fortunes.
Mimosas. It's like here's some doggy cocktails that are named entirely around the dog that I know that none of you do. I'm starting a company based off of my inside joke.
I'd buy it. I'd
Well,
buy
yeah,
that
we're
for
also in on
$1.
the inside joke.
Alright.
I gotta try this thing that people were talking about where they literally draw on the eyes with a marker.
Oh yeah.
Somebody was talking about that on the Discord, and I was looking at that, and I was like, "Yeah, it feel like it seems like cheating, but it also looks way better than anything I've ever done."
Yeah, see, people call certain things cheating and shortcuts. It's like, there's no rules, man. Just get the result
Yeah.
you want.
Sorry it's not acrylic, brah.
Something about that phrase just like tickles me.
David B. Moffat says cats could call them meow mosas.
Meow Moses.
You okay, Hammy?
That's Chris.
Yeah.
That's Chris.
I'm dying over here.
Oh, I don't care about that.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
See ya. Yeah, he doesn't want the tea.
Stop giving him the tea.
Alright, I won't
Sis.
give him the tea. It smells like water anyway. It was a waste of money. I don't know. I am a weak person.
Wait, did you try it yourself?
No, but I can.
Yeah. Why don't you drink it? It's not a waste.
Yeah.
It's literally water. I literally paid too much money for water. It's water.
Nice.
A little water?
I might just give up on ever getting his eyes to look good.
I know that feeling.
Let's try to get some red in his mouth.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give up on the eyes. Let's go to the mouth. Unbelievable. Facial features are the hardest part. I swear to God.
Yeah, sometimes,
You made something this tiny and you gave it a mouth?
a lot of times you just have to, like, go outside the lines and then fix it with the outer
That's
color.
what I'm doing right now. Right now, it looks like I just gave him like. Right now, it just looks like when like a 6-year-old gets into your lipstick.
Yeah. And sometimes with eyes, you can kind of have, like, a socket color and paint larger than the eye. Like, paint an
Lipstick.
outline that's, like, actually larger than the eye, and it looks like an eye socket around the whites. And then it's kind of just fudge a bigger area.
That's a good idea. But do I have the ability?
Believe in you. You can do it.
Meowscow Mule? I think it would just be a Moscow Mew.
Mew.
There's also cat wine. That one actually has catnip in it though. That one actually has a purpose.
It's a purpose.
Yeah, this one's just for.
Oh, thank God. Okay, yeah. The cat wine deserves to exist then.
Stop making fun of me.
Making fun of you. I'm making fun of people who. Oh, I guess it is you, but like.
People who buy dog wine.
It's only because I'm not making fun of you because it's personal. I'm just making fun of you because you exist in a group that I
No,
want.
I also deserve to be made fun of because this was I didn't even want to buy it. I just bought it because the guy gave Momo a treat. And I was like, what do I buy from here?
I'm feeling it.
And I was like, oh, wine's never let me down. And now it has. So can't say that anymore.
You ever been let down by wine? Yeah, it was dog wine though. So I kind of deserved it.
Yeah.
There's got to be somebody who actually has a taste for dog wine.
It's okay. I don't dislike it.
But I mean, there's somebody who like that's their favorite drink. Like they load up on that stuff.
It's just water. Like
When the quarantine hit and they realized that they had to be alone in their house for the next couple months, they like filled their closet with boxes on boxes of dog wine.
it just tastes herbally. But yeah, maybe there's one person that's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get this.
Their whole quarantine is just drinking dog wine and eating Hot Pockets.
Wow,
Oh,
what a
man.
life.
I've consumed a lot of Hot Pockets in quarantine.
Yeah.
I bet you have. I haven't had a Hot Pocket in years.
I haven't had a Hot Pocket since I turned like 13. I think it was like a rite of passage that I learned that I didn't like it anymore.
What?
It hurts your mouth or it's too cold and then it's gross.
Yeah,
It's
when you
already
haven't
actually
refined
gonna
the
be
process.
Are we talking about Captain Crunch?
You're right.
Oh, Hot Pockets. Yeah. You know, Hot Pockets,
Wait,
not
you
great.
never stopped liking Captain Crunch. Hello?
Oops. All
Yep.
berries?
Oops. Yeah, Captain Crunch, I was never huge into it because it always hurt my mouth as a kid. Tell you what I would absolutely destroy post Oreo O's. I once
Oh, those are good.
Well, I have a very vivid memory of watching westerns with my grandpa one night, And it's like, well, it's dessert time. It's 9 o'clock at night, and so he went and got a bowl of ice cream. And I was like, I think my dessert is gonna be post Oreo O's. And I opened a brand new box of that. I was like 10. I ate bowl after bowl until I'd gone through the entire box of post Oreo O's in one
Damn.
evening.
No, that sounds like a solid move.
Ooh,
Like-
someone mentioned Cocoa Pebbles. Love that.
Oh,
Cocoa
that was my childhood cereal.
Yeah.
That and then Captain Crunch donuts. Those
Oh my! I never even heard of that. What the heck?
Hamster. You know how? Oh my gosh! You just it's kind of like the same thing as having that pan pizza from Domino's. Like it just trumps every other cereal. Like it's just so good. Like oh, so good.
All right.
Ooh, Selena puts Oreos on vanilla ice cream. That sounds amazing.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
I mean, that's basically what McDonald's does, right? Like that's like a flurry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
At a certain point, I gotta just say, I've done what I can do.
Exactly.
Let's put some washes on it and let the washes do the work for me.
Yes.
At some point,
Exactly.
I have to accept this is the limit of my abilities at this moment in time.
And you can wash it and continue to touch it up with the previous colors, but it will soften any roughness.
Oreos are vegan.
What?
Yeah, Oreos are vegan.
Yeah, great.
Flesh wash, let's go.
All
What is
Cheerios
umber?
are gluten free.
Brown.
So I shouldn't put a brown wash on brown horns, right? Because then that's not going to do anything.
No, you could. It's just gonna end up warmer. I mean, you could try black just to get the actual shadow, and still use a brown to kind of
So looking at
shore
this,
up the roughness.
if I wanted to make these wings feel like they had more depth, are you thinking black, umber, flesh, like to make it a little darker in the corners and stuff like that? Like what?
For something like living like that, I like a warmer deal, so probably more like umber or flesh as opposed to black.
Okay.
You could try one or the other on the back of one of the smaller on a small spot and see.
Okay.
Try the flesh first and see if it is dark enough on like a small spot, and then the brown will cover it up anyway. If you switch to that.
Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Flesh. Look at that flesh. All right. Let's give this a little go. Oh, that's
Oh
sweet.
man, Cookie Crisp. I'm sorry, I'm just stuck on
Yo,
cereals
Cookie
still.
Crisp. Yeah. Oh.
Super good.
So
Yeah,
good.
I demolished Cookie Crisp as a child.
Apple Jacks.
Apple Jacks I was very into. Ooh.
Count Chocula says nerd botchery.
Yeah.
Wargaming Recon, I
actually-
agree with you. I feel like skin
actually-
tones in general need to be more broadened. Especially like Crayola is another one. Just like across the board in art supplies.
I actually never ate like those Halloween cereals.
Oh.
I never got Blueberry or Count Chocula or.
Count Chocula is the one that fucks, but the other two are okay.
It's the accent, you know.
It is. Well, vampires are seductive, you know? That's the whole basis of the lore.
Pretty sure that's a succubus. Well, no, I guess vampire. It depends on the take on vampires, right?
Yeah, it does.
Like a Nosferatu is extremely different from a Dracula, which is extremely.
Oh, that's,
different from
yes.
a Pattinson.
Yeah. True that. And Batman also, like,
Batman's my favorite
The
vampire.
biggest outlier of a vampire. Ooh, Cthulhu's.
Cthulhu's?
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Was that a thing?
I don't know. That's what David B. Moffat says.
I don't believe it. I think he's just making a very good pun. I don't think that actually exists. I don't think the industry is that
But
clever.
if they did, like, they'd be delicious. They'd be like a salted caramel kind of thing, like salt from the sea, but then caramel from like the decadence, and it'd
I can
be
see that.
yeah.
I put an umber on it. It made everything look wetter. So that's what we're going for. I'm into it. Should probably go with black on the horns to try and make it give sharper contrast. I also got a green wash. I'm not sure if putting a green wash over the body would work. Maybe over like the horned areas would give it.
If you want to add depth, I would still add a drop of black to that, or brown, because I remember I used that set of yours, and it's not, as dark for like a shadow wash. It's good for like a glaze to add a green tint, but if you want it in the shadows, add a touch of black with it.
Okay. I'm still learning like the way that these things actually interact. Actually, black on the horns is working pretty good for me, it looks like. Let's see.
Some generic life. What are the guesses on the names?
We made Neofoy have to go back and bought some generic life the other day.
Yeah, what are the guesses on the names?
What does generic life mean?
Life cereal?
Life cereal?
So good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Another delicious one.
wow, a generic life cereal.
Days.
That's probably where you get into things where it's like that's where they get into like where they just like start describing what the cereal is made of as the name of it.
Ooh, on this topic,
Toasted flakes.
have you guys ever had Honey Nut Cheerios? Like, not Honey Nut
Yes, I've had
Cheerios.
Honey Nut Cheerios.
No, but there's like something called O's, which is Honey Nut Cheerios, but better.
Oh, yeah.
Is that like the Multi-Meal brand?
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's got a cherry, but it's got like stuff in the middle, right?
Yeah.
It's got like granola clusters.
Like
I think
little
it's
clusters.
I think it's Post. I think it's Post. Those are really good. That was actually my favorite. Back when I was like a huge cereal person, that was like one of the things that I went to the most.
David
Huge cereal person.
Moffat sent me Cthulhu's. I'm gonna send you guys this.
It's an actual thing.
It's not a real thing, but somebody made a good spoof of it.
Oh, that's good.
His.
Get that wash all over his body. Oh, that does look very good. I think I would actually get that. I think I would actually get that in the store for the novelty.
Oh, I definitely would. Generic life cereal is called Live It Up, by the way.
I buy it. Live It Up.
Yeah.
It's so good. There's a number of things I've bought simply because I couldn't believe the packaging, or I thought it was like a funny novelty. I bought a Chinese region locked DVD of the Winnie the Pooh movie.
You should start an Instagram.
Of just weird things that I buy.
Just the things that it's like, I bought this because the way it looks, or so, like if it's like truly spectacular, I want to see them.
That's fair.
Like I want to see knockoff Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Oh, yeah, like a generic. So somebody makes a generic mall security guard movie.
Yeah, but it's like a strip mall. Like it's all outdoor.
It's just called like Just like
It's called like Saul.
Saul, Guardian of the Payless.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Or like Saul of the Strip Mall.
Saul of the Mall.
Saul of the Mall.
Mall Saul.
Mall Saul!
I hate this.
I love it.
Putting umber all over his body actually kind of helped a bit. Looks like.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing on these. I'm using a brown wash. I think on the first one, because this is, like I said, one of the first times I was experimenting with the sepia sketch at the beginning, and I think I went a little brighter on these guys, so now I'm kind of knocking it down with a wash to get it more at that gritty level. This one is called Strong Tone by Army Painter, but it's just a brown wash also.
Yeah, baby, look at that. All right. I think I'm gonna need to
Gritty, exactly.
get into the middle of his mouth a little bit.
Danielson says, used to go to Mexico every year growing up and found knockoff Luke and Chewbacca. They were both cross-eyed with G.I. Joe guns packaged as Star Wario.
Star Wario?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's so good. I'm gonna win. Use the Force. Oh man. Star Wario. Should still have them, but they got garage sold. That Watto's really bad. That wasn't Watto. That was Wario. Beloved, the most beloved Nintendo character.
That has his own series, yeah, or like his own
They're
game.
great
yet.
games. It bums me out how they're, man. Wario needs more love. Like the Wario Land games were genuinely incredible. And,
Well, also WarioWare Touch is phenomenal.
yeah,
WarioWare in general, yeah.
WarioWare is like all he gets anymore, and like WarioWare's fine, but like he genuinely had just like great platformers, and they don't make them anymore. And it bums me out. Wario Land and Wario World were all very good.
Waluigi is the real, that's the one that they really just kind of were like, this is our bastard child, forget about him.
I'm wondering if he will ever get an actual game appearance.
I think he... appearance or like his own game?
Actual game appearance. Appearance in something that isn't a party game or a sports game.
Oh, I see.
Because to a lot of... okay, so I'm very involved in a lot of online game communities. And one of them is Super Smash Brothers. Well, I used to be a lot more involved than I am now. But one really big thing... So Waluigi's a character that a lot of people like. But he's never actually had an appearance in anything outside of sports games or party games. So people are like, he's not actually an important character, so he can't be in anything.
Even still, yeah.
Smash. And so that's been like a big debate, is like, when is he actually going to get? Because he's like the most featured character by far, who has never actually had like a main game appearance. So a lot of people are wondering like when that's going to happen, and then if so, what's that going to be? Because like it was vaguely mentioned at one point that like apparently he's an oil baron. It was just like in his like information in, I think, a trophy in Melee or something like that.
Real quick side tangent. Did you know that Mario's species is Humo Nintendus, but then Luigi is a human? Like,
Yes.
they're not even the same species, but they're brothers?
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know all that.
People were really upset Waluigi wasn't in Smash, mostly because then a Piranha Plant got in before before Waluigi did. I think it's more important that Toad get in before Waluigi does, but I wouldn't be upset if Waluigi was there. It is interesting, because he also wasn't made by Nintendo. Is the funny thing. He was made by Camelot. He was literally created for Mario Tennis. So like a lot of people debate whether he's actually even a Mario character. I just personally think the fighting is funny, but.
Here, Ungalot had an interesting question. He said, "How do you like painting units to look like an already existing property?" And I always try to like take inspiration from it, but I always want to deviate a little bit too, which is why like I would research the different like the colors of the captain's panels on the stormtroopers and everything, and what all the black elements detailing on the helmets and stuff are, and make sure I have that correct. But then it's like, okay, what is my spin? I always want to try to spin it. It kind of comes down to like I started painting Ultramarines, Space Marines, like the classic, and I love those, but ever since then I always want to do my custom chapter, right? Where you still want it to look like a Space Marine in the world, but have a custom scheme and lore and everything. So that's why I sort of went with like just the super gritty, been in the trenches for a long time sort of look with these Star Wars Legion guys.
Yeah.
And so I looked up a lot of the costuming and the movies and screenshots, and I looked at some action figures and that kind of thing, and pulled from that just to make sure that it was in the right realm, because I wanted it to be in the universe and inspired by the movies that we all love and everything. But then there's got to be some kind of flip. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, these turned out really, really well. I love how these.
I remember when he first posted the Trooper.
Yeah.
That was really cool. You did get the sense that like this war's been going on a very long time.
Yeah.
And it's a very cool look. Honestly, when I compare him to the picture, he's definitely like different colors, but I don't hate him.
But again, it's inspired by the source material, but is your own take.
And you know how to do it now too.
Yeah.
It looks great, Chris.
Yeah, now I can send this to the factory and send them my 3 unpainted ones and tell them to match.
Ooh, yeah, Mandalorian Season 2 coming. I can't wait for that.
I still haven't seen the first one.
What?
I don't have Disney Plus.
I haven't watched it either. Tyler and Miles have been watching it. I'm just not a big Star Wars man. The only thing I'm not happy with is the eyes.
Well, that's one of the trickiest parts.
But I don't know what I can do about it now. What was that?
Put sunglasses on it. Buy mini sunglasses and put sunglasses on it.
I should watch Mandalorian at some point. I don't know. I just don't watch a lot of things. I'm just gonna ignore May's story about it.
That's fine. That happens a lot. I'm cool with it.
I'm very happy with this model though. Very happy with my hellscape in general. Like opening it was very nice. Hamster, you know what the scary thing is?
What's that?
What we gotta do is hang on. Okay. So we got this.
Oh, nice.
But I also got this. And you remember what I wanted to do with it, right?
Remind me. I remember you mentioning the idea, but I don't remember what it was.
I wanted to basically. My concept was to take this model and do a version that is this guy, but like he's been trapped in the Feywild or something.
Ooh,
oh, that'd be cool.
And he's been Fey touched, and I want to go with like kind of a spectral sort of green flame. Like I'm trying to figure out exactly how to do it, but I'm thinking like to do the flames green.
That sounds awesome.
A couple other things. I don't know what I'm gonna do about the base, because that's very clearly for lava. But maybe I can think of something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you could just paint it like moss and mud and sludge and rock, and if they're looking at the base at that point, you got a different problem.
That's fair. That is totally fair.
You can also just have it assumed that that's part of like the character, like him as a NPC or whatever. Like he just brings flames around him, and it doesn't have to be just Wildlands strictly. But like I don't know, like to have fires at the base, he just seems like a fiery dude. You'll find a way to cover
Or
those
if you
up.
want to do green flames, you could just have a glowy green effect like from the flames, and it just looks like it's reflecting the light, and you can't even tell what it is.
You know what? I'm gonna try one thing. I'm gonna try one thing.
Try it.
See how this works. I'm gonna just run a green wash over his body, and see how I feel about going with a lighter wash over the dark base that I have for skin.
Love that.
Worst case scenario, I cry.
Every one experiment per miniature. That is my policy.
Yeah?
Yes.
Is that actually like a...
Yes, every time I paint something, I'm trying one thing, and I'm always like, nah, I won't do that. I'll just do the safe thing and make it look good. No!
I was looking at it and I was just like, I feel like I want him to be a bit brighter, so I just want to try running this green over it and see.
Just one hamster? Well, yeah, Neo, once you're in the mindset of I'm going to do one, then you subconsciously open yourself to doing more. So you'll end up doing a bunch. And that's when you start to improve rapidly. Yeah, something weird on each mini, exactly. Like I said, this was the first one that I tried sepia undertones, and I've since done it. Well, let's see.
Now I just have strange overtones stuck in my head, but it's sepia undertone.
This also started with just a sepia value sketch. You can even see in the metals, there's actually brown under the kind of metal fantastical glazes. You can see it better there. But the beard and the fur on the hat is just the straight sepia sketch, and then everything else, more work than these, but it's still all glazes over it. So, yeah, that was one of my first. These were my first. I forget which one is first, but these were my first attempts with sepia. Again, I tried it again on the player characters for the last Wildlands game stream.
Wait, hold that up again.
The dwarf.
Yeah.
I love dwarves, man.
Yeah. That's what you chose to play for the team games, right?
Yes, my first
That's
fantasy
amazing.
love.
Thim?
Yes.
I love the color palette you went with.
Thank you. Yeah, I was painting a Frostgrave warband for the Perilous Dark solo campaign that I actually didn't end up having time to play, but I will eventually. But it's a great example. I said, look, this is small warband. I'm going to paint each one individually, and I'm going to do something new on each one. Let's pull them out.
We should jump into Tabletop Simulator and play Frostgrave. I really want to see how it works. Or
Yeah,
Relic
I'm
Blade,
down
I mean.
for that.
You Relic Blade on there, weren't you?
Oh, yeah, that one has a great mod because the artist he illustrates everything, too, so everything is his art asset.
Oh, that's literally his stuff? That's not
Yeah.
even like people like...
Yeah,
Homebrew
it's all his, yeah.
Oh, that's really cool, actually. It's not finished drying yet, but I think I like this more.
Undulant says I require something weird on each mini. A little unique twist. Yeah, that looks great, Chris.
But yeah, like, put out more highlights to it, makes him seem more alive. And he still has like the dark creases where like his abs are and stuff. I like the wash made it. The problem is that when I compared it to the unpainted one, I initially felt like it was just too close in color, but now it actually does feel. It doesn't feel like it has like the same same base color as the unpainted. Like it actually does. It seems like a living thing now to me.
Hamsters, yours is awesome.
Yeah, so this one, the experiment was try a sepia. Well, first of all, do a value sketch at all, because I had spent a lot of time doing a zenithal prime where you can either spray or airbrush black with white over the top just to get a 3D grayscale sort of thing. Love that. But I said, why don't I try it in sepia tones? I think the first time I saw it, I was watching a Sam Lenz stream, and he did a sepia tone for like a gritty zombie. And it definitely will affect the end result, so you have to be wanting to go for a certain effect, but I think it worked really well on here. This one, I think the experiment was just using all products I hadn't used yet, because at this point I had bought so many paints and hadn't opened them all. So I was using a different brand of paint. I forget which one it was. It was either Coat d'Arms or the Pro Acryl by Monument Hobbies, and then an ink. The coat is an ink. I was trying to use some inks I hadn't used, which is why they're kind of glossy too. So you could matte that down, but I'll probably just leave it. So just using different products that I bought and hadn't used, because then you can put them in your repertoire and learn how they work. So for certain effects, you'll use them and they'll come up in your brain. This one was inspired by the Instagram account Craft World Studio, and obviously the studio painters Craft World Studio, where they just add so many like colors into their colors, so that makes sense. Like the color of each area actually ends up being like 4 different colors. So I had to tell myself consciously, just try something, go nuts, be scared, do it anyway. So when this first started, basically I think what I went with was every color that I want to be, put the complement as the base. So it's not a black base. The green or the red parts have a green base. The green hat has red in the base. And by the end of the base coating, this looked like I melted Skittles all over it. It looked like a giant pile of slop, and I literally thought to myself, this failed. This is a failed experiment. This is garbage. But then I said, stop, and just paint it like a regular miniature, like it's base coated perfectly. Just paint over it. And it turned out, I mean, look at that. Especially, like you said, on camera, it looks super overexposed. But you can see all the weird colors in the shadows. And I think it gives it a more, like, it's like super Technicolor fantasy look, you know? It definitely affects the result.
It has like a drawn quality to it.
Yeah. So super cool effect that I wouldn't know how to do until I tried something. So now I've been adding that to almost everything, where it's like make the shadows and highlights like more interesting than just darker and lighter. Like throw some color in there in interesting ways.
It really does remind me of like stylized graphic novels.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like it was inked first.
Yeah.
So these 3 are some of my favorites that I've ever painted, just because of I ended up with a result that I liked, and it was after I tried something brand new, so I have that like history with them, that experience.
So when you say more colors in the base, it's not just more pigment, it's just more like colors that build up a particular shade.
Yeah, just like
Okay.
throw more interesting things in the mix than just like if I want it to be red, I'll do dark red, which like works for some things, but for a large area, like try putting a green black, like the opposite on the color wheel. Green black on something that's going to be red, and when you look at it,
Right.
especially on the table, sometimes you can do it in more subtle ways than this dwarf, so sometimes it's an effect that you wouldn't notice really until you put 2 things next to each other. One was more traditional with just dark to light, and one has cool colors throughout it in the shadows in unexpected areas, and you'd be like, whoa, like huge difference. So sometimes it can be subtle, but this I wanted to push like to the max just to try.
I hear that. we gotta use all these for stuff.
All the miniatures?
Yeah,
Yeah, I have so many. Dude,
like
there are so many games that we could play if I had just worked on these.
yeah. One of my next projects is a character named Vaporwave. Yeah, Vaporwave, my water genasi monk.
That
It's
sounds
basically
sweet.
It's basically just Katara. I used it for the Wildlands test games when I played in those. Somebody asked earlier, Wargaming Recon, I think it was, asked how Frostgrave works on Tabletop Simulator. Tabletop Simulator is like great. It's a very, it's like a very flexible system, and a lot of people. What's nice about it is it has the workshop stuff open, so basically people can mod things into it. So for wargaming stuff, you literally just go into the workshop and you look for here's a Frostgrave scenario, and you literally just download that and then open it in Tabletop Simulator, and now the board's all laid out and you've got your armies and everything.
I've played a full-scale game of Warhammer 40K on Tabletop Simulator.
Really?
Yeah, it was bonkers. It worked very well.
It's an incredibly flexible tool. Like I only used it for a couple things so far. Like I'm just getting into it, but like already, like having only put maybe 10 hours into it altogether, like I'm able to do a lot of stuff pretty easily. Like it's a very intuitive system. Yeah. Whoa, what did David Moffat miss? Depending on when he left, I finished my thing.
Serial talk.
So like a lot of serial talk.
No, I think he was here.
He
for
made the
Serial
Cthulhu.
Talk. He
Oh,
put the,
okay.
Cthulhu's.
Oh,
So
right.
This is the original. This is how the Spine Devil started, and then this. Is what I made.
Hey, nice.
Actually, yeah, that actually does.
Looks
Actually, looks
awesome. I can even see the mouth and everything, like you said.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
looks way better on camera, actually. I think the green wash ended up being a good idea. It put more life into them, I think.
Yeah.
Because I noticed when I put them side by side before that like I felt like the skin felt too similar to just like the casting color, and it just made
Sure.
it feel like more like a gargoyle than like a living devil thing to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I really like it though. I think it came out fairly well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I made some progress on these guys. I went a little slower than I expected. I think what I learned here is I tried to put a little ivory in my sepia, and it turned out a little brighter.
You got your ivory in my sepia.
So, so I think I'll maybe skip the ivory, and just go stop at a beige, which is already pretty bright.
Those bases.
Just to keep it more, just a little earthier and grittier. Oh yeah, the bases are really cool. Well, the reason that I did it, this is again comes back to the color theory thing that I've been trying to figure out forever. Is I picked the red basing, obviously alien planet, but when I did all the weathering stuff on here, it turned a little green, like it's kind of leans green. And so again, what's the complement? Red. So we'll do a red Martian sort of base, just to complement
Amazing.
that.
Whoa.
And now there's green on here too. So
The only thing I don't like about the Spine Devils is that there's no basing to be done with it because they're on flight stands.
yeah. Well, you could do the little round part on the bottom.
That's weird though.
Well, then find a mini that has a base.
I've done a lot of it. You want to see my penguins?
Yeah, show us your penguins.
These are some of the first things I painted. So I did 2 Hero Forge minis a couple months apart, and then I decided to start trying to learn how to actually paint. And so I started. The first thing I did was I did a group of penguins.
Oh yeah, I remember those penguins.
Yeah.
That doesn't look anything like the Batman character.
Yeah, did that one. I also decided each one was going to be a different kind of penguin.
Oh, sweet.
So
Do
I
you have
just
a
had,
rock hopper?
I just had like a bunch of pictures of penguins up. There we go. And you can't really see it that well on this camera, but he's got like a yellow tint as you go up the chest.
You can see it.
Nice.
The basing on that was really simple and fun. The rest of them are actually the rest of the stuff I painted is in Tyler's room actually.
Well, Wargaming Recon mentioned Martian Iron Earth from Citadel, which is a technical paint. That I just kind of improvised. I don't own that product, so I just kind of improvised a Martian Earth thing. But I did just go to the art store and get some crackle paste. It's basically just that type of technical paint without any pigment. So I kind of want to make my own technical paints out of that and do some crackly, fun stuff with just mixing color into it.
Thanks to the Netflix series Atypical. I now know all the time. I haven't watched Atypical yet. I've heard good things though. They talk about penguins a lot on that. Reaper attack penguins. I did. Yeah. It's all from Reaper. I got all the penguins I could. So, I guess potential spoiler alert depending on if this ever gets to happen. We all homebrewed. We like collaboratively kind of built like a world to put the Dwarven Forge like live games in and stuff. And so I developed the Arctic part, and I created these. I like homebrewed these like penguin creatures for it, and so I ordered a bunch of penguins because I was really excited about it, and I painted those. I also have a dire penguin I need to paint. That's also from Reaper.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, so I haven't painted that one, and then I have a dwarf I need to paint,
Aww.
and transparent wraiths. And I did like a gnome army that I've posted in the Discord, but it's not here right now.
Yeah, Ungalon, if you pick up some crackle paste, I would say test it on like bases or little scrap pieces, and see like how thick you like it to get the result you want. Test it with paints. How much paint do you add? This is all stuff I need to do because I haven't used it yet, but I'm definitely interested in experimenting. Someone said, "Are you guys doing this weekly?" This is actually the first Hamster Hobby Hang that we've done. We've done similar streams, obviously, but this thing where whatever is on the hobby desk, we're just going to hang out and do it. I hope that we start doing it pretty regularly because it's just relaxed and fun.
You want to do it weekly?
I would be down with that, honestly.
Weekly on Thursdays?
I like the idea.
All right, let's make it a thing.
I have
weekly on Thursdays. Hamster is your con.
Oh wait, no, I have to wait. I have to reach over here. You gotta. Nice.
Am I going the wrong way?
You're going the wrong way. You gotta. You gotta go further than that. You gotta go further than that. A little further, Mace. There we go. All right. There we go. All right.
I mean.
Oh, wait. Why is it flip for me? Okay, wait,
Yeah,
no.
I know,
Okay,
that's
I
what
guess
I'm
I gotta go this way. All right. Okay, yeah. All right. You go off screen. There we go. Why?
Nailed it.
Why am I flipped? And Mace isn't.
I don't know.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
Hamster, how did you set this up?
I just popped out the video call.
This is what you look like on the webcam. Yep.
I don't like it.
Sucks.
Why isn't it showing me the same thing it's showing you guys? I don't like this at all.
Sucks.
It's not official till you have a theme song. Thankfully, we've got a star vocalist in our group.
Momo, take it away.
Oh.
Yeah, my. Oh, look at his little face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rich.
Hamster. What theme song are you gonna sing?
I'll have to tap into my dusty musical theater skills.
We'll do a song specifically for Chris's issue, and it's gonna be kind of like the Cheers theme song, but we're gonna call it Mirrors.
Sometimes you wanna go
Where
everybody is just you.
Dun, 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 dun. Except for your own reflection in the webcam video. Dun, 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 dun. Everybody else has no issues, but for whatever reason you do.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, No Mercy has a good point. It's a good pre-Critical Role stream. I forgot that this is kind of the slot before that, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's very chill. I'm into it. I can knit or paint along. Yeah, that's kind of the goal. Is it'd be nice to maybe we make it like a regular thing. We just keep updating. Maybe we can. Do
Uncle Lon is my friend from college. I know him. He just messaged me. He's like, "That's me."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an incredible writer and storyteller. He went to school for theater with me, and avid tabletop guy. Great guy. Also starting to paint miniatures again.
Maybe we could
That's right. It's his Discord name. I forgot.
Maybe we could do it. If we do this regularly, people make stuff along. And we could like feature what people are like working on in the next episode and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Sounds like we already shook on it though, so we kind of have to do it.
That's totally fair.
All right, let's call it a night. Yeah.
I think
we've
so.
been going over 2 hours actually.
Yeah.
I
think
longer.
typically the paint streams, we typically call it about 2 hours in. That's about good.
Yeah,
Got some
that's a
good progress, good conversation.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I don't know. I like talking to you, so I'm down
Yeah.
for doing the phone.
Well, and again, like I did start. I have my pile of shame is enormous. I have random companies, dwarfs, goblins, orcs from random people. I have Warhammer. I have Middle Earth strategy battle game, Relic Blade. I mean, I have some Perry historicals. I'm looking at my shelf. I have so much stuff we could work on. So
Yeah, I mean, and if we really run out of stuff to paint somehow,
somehow my own Dwarven Forge terrain. I mean, come on.
yeah, I've got like all my hellscape is just sitting
By the pound.
I unboxed a couple days ago, and I guess it's taking up technically less space since it's not in a bigger box right now, but there's a lot of stuff I gotta paint.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
we just marked an agreement. Nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more of these too. This is fun.
All right. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, thanks for joining us, guys.
What's coming up? What's on the Dwarven Forge pipeline?
So another exciting thing that's happening is every single week we are returning to On the Anvil on Wednesdays. The next one's going to be in the office. This one was done from home because of somebody over here. But we're going to be returning to that format as usual. Looks like next Thursday you also have a little hobby stream to look forward to. So On the Anvil is always at 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, and then we're going to make this 6 p.m. on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down with whatever, baby.
I'm glad.
And then this is also a thing that we can make like a revolving. Like maybe bring different people on different days and all that too.
Yeah.
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 For sure. We can talk offline too.
That's not
I want to
possible.
give all the secrets away, you know.
That's not
It's
possible.
not possible?
As soon as the stream is over, I'm deleting my Slack.
Well, we're on Discord, so I'm still gonna find you.
That's going to.
All right. Well, looks like Chris got fired.
All right. Bye, Chris. Bye, everybody.
It was a pleasure working with you all.
Oh.
Well, I'm very glad that you guys like the stream because it's my favorite way to stream. I think just hanging out and relaxing and hobbying. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.